Yeah, we're recording.
We're live.
We're live. We're live.
We're live.
Live and in living color.
Sorry.
How's it going? How was your Sunday so far?
It's okay. It's been a very long week, so it's cleaned. That's basically it today.
Yeah, I went to BJ's and then cleaned out both fridges and cut all the boxes up and stocked everything and got it ready.
Yeah, I was at Harris Teeter's at like 8:30 this morning, and because they're a supermarket that with every $100 you get 10 cents off a gallon.
Oh, nice.
So I always accrue, and I'm like, you know what? I'm at a half a tank. Might as well fill it up. So I got that done.
Gas. I filled my tank up yesterday, and it cost me $72.
I'm not surprised
because we use good gas. But yeah.
Well, it was $37 for me to fill the other day from a half a tank. So it would cost.
Where's their gas coming from?
The gas pump. I don't know. I have no clue. It's QT, and it was at that point. It was
I don't know where QT gets their gas from.
$3.49 a gallon. Now it's $3.79. It jumped 30 cents in 24 hours.
Yeah, Graham said he went somewheres and it was like $4 something.
Yeah, it's $3.99 today. So I got 40 cents off a gallon, and then filled her back up, and it was only like $29. So my goal is like once I reach a half a tank, just to fill her back up type of thing.
So you got to do your research. You got to go in there and ask them where their gas is coming from. If it's coming from a bulk tank, is it a brand? Because most places like that, the problem is you'll save 10, 15, 20, 30 cents per gallon of gas, which I'm getting a really good deal, but you're getting 10, 15, 20, 30% less efficiency out of that gallon.
I don't care. Really.
I don't. Of a choice?
It's BP that I get the discount at, which a lot of people have issues with it because, they're the ones with the oil and the ducts and whatever. But
fairly certain the guy behind the counter.
So it's not like you're getting gas there at the.
Just jump in, Kerr.
At the it's like here,
I'm used to it. I get my revenge.
It's not Sam's Club gas or like supermarket has their own gas tank. It's their discount, like my supermarket card for Harris Teeter's is accepted at BP gas stations as the rewards.
Oh, okay. I thought you were just getting some broke ass gas.
I'm not going to like ghetto gas and getting watered down gas or anything that I know of.
I'm gonna go in tomorrow at QT and be like, listen, I want to know where your fucking gas comes from. And the kid's gonna be like, oh, you want a gum with that?
Yeah. No, you just wait till the truck driver gets there and like, hey.
Yes, that's their
goal. With all my spare time.
Yeah. I'm like, hey, where are you picking this gas up from?
So,
Kev, most of the times you make some valid points, but you got me hanging out at fucking QT waiting for the gas tank.
Exactly. I usually see them early morning going into work, but
what you got to do is you got to sit around and wait for the truck to show up.
But what's messed up is Kevin's never doing that.
I would do that if I didn't know where the gas was coming from. And then you also always want to get gas first thing in the morning, after the gas tanks have been sitting all night. Because the gas condenses, so you'll actually get just a little bit more gas for the money that you're spending. So, like in the afternoon,
we'll be there at 6 a.m. waiting.
Yeah,
for them open.
When the tanks are hot, the lines are hot. You're getting more vapors, and it's actually sucking more of the vapors back into the.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I got gas at like 9:00 this morning. So. Yeah. And then we cleaned. I grilled twice. Lunch and dinner was on the grill.
So yeah. So BP, you're getting good gas. Yeah, I'm going to sacrifice a duck or two for some good gas.
Yeah, you know what? Dawn worked well on them. All as well. I'm getting 10 cents off a gallon.
It's moments like this, Jess, and I'm like,
and it rolls over. So I basically do it
Thank
cumulative.
Yeah.
And the amount of grocery shopping I do and money that I spend because I don't go cheap items. I build it up very quickly. So, yes, I'll be going to BP.
Yeah, I just have my Shell rewards card. Every time I swipe it, I get 10 cents off.
When's the last time you gotten gas? Oh, wait, before you
I just paid my Shell statement for the last month, and it was like $48 for like the whole month. And I'm like, sweet. Oh, it was great. Because pre-pandemic, with me traveling, I was paying $300 a month in gas. And then during the pandemic, just going to work and back, It was nice. It was like,
well, we're not that far. At least our
$100,
our
$125 a month.
Yeah,
But it's
it be where we work is nice because we're not super far. It's pretty easy to keep a full tank for a while.
Yeah.
So.
Where does your gas come from? Who gives you your gas?
Yeah, people don't know that because, like, so you can get
funny.
less efficient gas, and then that gas wrecks your fuel system, wrecks your fuel injectors.
I believe
So
that.
yeah, so long term, you could be paying thousands of dollars in damages and lost fuel economy just by saving on
Ghetto gas.
I want a full report by the end of the week, then, Jen, if you believe that.
Yes.
Yeah. So
I want to
believe
see
the
a
morning
video of you sitting there.
more,
with gas with the
yeah.
gas.
I believe the principle of gas settling and getting better gas in the morning versus later in the day.
You see the freaking tanker truck pull up. You better be investigative
I
reporter.
will.
Yeah.
You better be Connie Chung.
Yeah.
Connie Chung and Morg Povich.
Yeah, there you
Connie
go.
Chung in his ass. Where do you get your gas?
Geraldo Rivera.
I get it in Oklahoma where I fill this thing up. I mean,
Yeah.
the gas.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'd be like, I don't know, someone just gave me the keys, told me to
I don't
come
know,
here.
man.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh,
So-
that's so funny.
And then most people don't know in the ground there's only regular and premium. Mid-grade, they actually mix the two inside the pump.
Yeah, I don't
Really?
care.
Yeah.
That would make sense. It's like freaking it's like chocolate and vanilla, and then you
All-
got swirl.
All I
Yeah.
know is it pisses me off when they have a little flag thing over the gas
Oh, I
pump.
know.
That
Yeah.
pisses me off.
So
Because then I have to find another pump, and usually, like, you have every a-hole who just gets out of their car, parks at the pump, but it's not getting gas right away to go inside and
That'd be-
freaking getting food
Yeah.
and all that shit. Pump your gas, go park, then go
That's
inside.
what I do.
I'm
I-
not moving my car twice.
Fuck.
Oh,
if,
yeah,
I'm
and
paying, if I'm paying
Pet
for
peeve.
gas,
I pay
They
for gas. I
can't-
park. I will.
Yeah.
I will
he does.
park.
He moves the vehicle. I'm
I
like,
do
Yeah.
too.
I may pump first and then I'll go in,
Oh,
or I'll go in
gosh,
first and then I'll pump. Big deal. There's
People like you,
20
like,
pump.
curse.
There's 20
If
If
gas
But when it's
Kevin and
packed though,
Jen are
like
the
I'll
same.
sit behind.
they can wait.
I'll sit behind a car.
You know what?
and I'll be like,
patience is a virtue.
I'm sitting there going, motherfucker. I bet you.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
getting their fucking ho-hos. Here they come out. Bag
Yeah.
of fucking
And
nuts
they
and a
gotta pump
Gatorade.
slushy.
And I'm like, yeah. So that slushy, like,
Oh yeah, like and like I said, we were just down in was it Boynton Beach?
Yeah.
They had like 30 gas pumps, like half of them were being used. I just left it there and went inside.
No, you didn't leave it. I'm the one driving. You were arguing with me, and instead of just making a scene, I said, "Okay, fine."
Yeah. Other
So
than
of
that,
course we go in, and it's a Wawa, so we are ordering
it doesn't
food
make
that
it.
takes a while
And,
to
and,
make.
and we came outside and there were still 20 available pumps. So it
Whatever,
doesn't make any
Kevin.
difference.
yeah, someone's in there
So-
ordering an MTO, made to
Yeah.
order.
Yep.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Wawa's
So,
make great
But another,
sandwiches.
I want to go back to the gas pump just for people that are listening. That informative. This will be my last thing about
Okay.
gas pumps.
That's fine.
Which
Tech tip.
which tech
Bullies.
tip, which I need to write that down because I need to bring that up on my tech tip,
You
especially
should.
for
It's
motorcycles. It's very important if you have in your town to find a gas pump that has 3 separate nozzles versus one that has one nozzle. That's probably going back when I used to ride all the time with Butch. He was getting a bike was having problems, spitting and sputtering, and one day we're filling up with gas and it was a single pump, and Butch just looks up and goes, "Wonder how much gas is left in that line," because his bike takes premium and mine took regular. And I go, "Huh, I don't know." So did some research, wrote to the Commissioner of Agriculture for the state of Florida. Wrote me a
Of course he did. Of
wrote me a
course
big
he did.
long thing back. So there's 2 hoses allowed to use in the state of Florida: 6-foot hose and an 8-foot hose. A 6-foot hose can have up to 0.8
A hoe.
gallon. Yeah,
They put- oh.
hose. So you can have anywhere from 0.8 to 1.1 gallons of fuel left in that hose. Well, Butch's bike only took 3 gallons of gas. So if the guy before him only filled up with regular, Butch is going to put 1 gallon of regular and 2 gallons of premium, which brings his octane from 92 to like 90 and a half. So that's why his bike was running rough. So
Just glazed.
so
I'm just
we
glazed
just
over.
made sure when we were stopping, we looked for gas stations that had 3 separate pumps. So he made sure he was getting
That makes
premium.
sense.
Well, scientifically, that makes complete sense. It's not like they're purging the line after each.
Yes, that's it. It's
It's not
not
scientific. It's
Yeah.
freaking functional. It's 3
Yeah.
lines. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, but the reason they go to here in Florida, they went to 2 lines because especially at a new gas station, you pay a almost like a bond for every nozzle you have. So if you only have one nozzle or you have two nozzles, your bond is a lot less. That's why they switched to.
I don't think I've ever seen 3 nozzles. You have diesel, and then you have the other one that you have your choice of regular, mid, or super button.
I
We
don't
used
Still
know.
one nozzle.
We used to have 4 regular, mid-grade, premium, and then
ethanol.
diesel.
Really?
What's that other one at like a
non-ethanol.
racetrack? The
Non-ethanol, but they call it recreational fuel.
And that has its own.
Yeah,
That I've
nozzle.
seen as their own.
Yeah.
That's what you need to put. That's what you need to put in your lawnmowers and stuff.
Back when I was a kid, it had leaded and unleaded.
Yeah.
And then I think there was a big gasohol shift there, like late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, it was. You can watch the or read the report how the birth defects went down in the years after they banned leaded gas, and then we just went to which we've always needed something. Everybody thinks gas is 100%. You know, it's always been 90% gas, 10% of something to us to retard the knock, and it was lead. And then we went to MDBE, and then now we're on ethanol. So you need something to get less bang for the buck, so you can retard the knock in your car.
Interesting.
Oh.
But before they were going to put lead in the car, Henry Ford wanted ethanol, but ethanol was too expensive, so they went with lead. So we ended up with ethanol anyways.
Interesting.
Cigarprops, sips, gas, and stogies.
And now you know.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Kev, lead us off now.
Sometimes it's scary.
It's scary for me too.
I'm sure it is.
The knowledge I have up here freaks me out at times.
Yeah, sometimes I just glaze over though because it's too much, and I'm like, because the fact that you're telling me the story, but
just hears white noise.
The detail that you go into, I'm like, I didn't need to know all of that. And like watching a movie with him is so hard.
All right, we'll get into that in a minute. I'm Broadleaf Bully Kevin.
I don't know why we say it. Why do we say broadleaf when we say it at the very end after we say our names? I just wanted to put that out there. Why do we say broadleaf?
It's an ongoing argument on your end.
You can say anything you want, Jess.
I'm
you
Jess.
don't have to follow him.
Okay.
Fine. I'm Jess.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Kevin.
I'm Jess.
That was Broadleaf Bully Jess. This is Broadleaf Bully Kerr.
And I'm Bully Jen.
And we are
the Broadleaf Bullies.
We talk. You listen. We are the Broadleaf Bullies. And here's your hosts, Kev, Kerr, Jessie, and Jen.
Hey, it's Lars's birthday today.
Happy birthday, Lars.
All the Larses.
Listen, I wasn't sure if it was Lars's birthday because, you know, he has a couple of profiles. So I was like, I wonder if it's just because this is a different profile that he made at a certain time, but I'm assuming it is.
One
so
of those
I said
profiles' birthdays.
Okay, well, I did say happy birthday.
Because I acknowledged, I said it, my good friend, the trends are a trailblazer and the man of 100 freaking profiles. And as I typed his name, I think I had like 5 profiles.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
And then I called him this morning and sung to him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I was like, happy birthday to you. I love it, baby.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I was like trying to see if any of his other profiles said it, and I'm like, I'm not seeing it. I'm like, I'm saying happy birthday anyway, because, you know, who doesn't like to be told happy birthday, even if it's not your birthday? It's like,
I wonder if the different profiles have different ages.
I don't know. I wonder too. I never looked. Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Oh, it's terrible.
Oh man. But yeah, he was heading out doing some adventure today.
Nice.
Yeah. So
talk about a guy that needs a camera crew following him.
Yeah.
Like what adventure is Lars Teton's up to on a Sunday?
I'd watch that reality show.
I would. Like I now want to know what he was doing today.
In Allentown, PA, by the way.
Yeah. Real world road rules. Lars Teton.
He's like, I'm going to the Poconos. I would just love to
going to the Poconos?
I wonder if he's going to the casino.
I don't know.
Or the raceway.
How far is that from where he lives?
Not far, an
like,
hour.
Yeah, I was gonna say
okay.
maybe 45 minutes to an
Yeah.
hour.
Yeah,
Depends on how far in the Poconos he's going. Once you get past like Tinnican Park,
especially where
then
he
you go
is,
the
it might be a
further,
little
it's
bit
not
closer. But yeah, it's I would pay money to see a Lars Teton reality show.
I mean, he lives in a bank. I mean, that there is the opener.
fantastic.
I mean, you open every show opener is opening the vault door, and there is Lars in his crushed velvet bed, shaped like a heart or something, spinning in a circle.
We're planning my mom's turning 75 in June, so we're gonna go up for a week and get some cigar stuff done, go to the beach, visit Pawpaw and Nani.
It's a surprise. What if your mom listens to the show?
Yeah, what if my mom, who has a flip button phone and no internet in the house, finds out? We have got to stop by Lars's house because I have to see everything in person, and we'll have young Joe with us, so he'll get to see this like for real.
Called Young Joe.
I told Lars when I was at his house next time I was going to recreate that photo. That
next
paint,
time, have
or
you
not
been
for the first time?
Something you want to tell him?
Holding out on us.
That photo with him in the background, it was him and then that naked girl with her leg up.
Yeah,
his girlfriend.
Yeah, I told him we were going to recreate that.
Dude,
I was going to be.
He's going to hold you to it.
If I'm not there for that, just to ensure your safety, I will.
Listen,
not
I'm
be
not going to
happy
be there for that, so no one's ensuring Kevin's safety.
Yeah, you know what? I could see. I could literally see Lars's house as a bank, and I could still see there being a drive-through.
That would be great,
right? And people pull up and think they're going to make a deposit or withdraw, and it's just Lars going, "Hey, what's up? How's your day?"
He still has the big window.
Big window.
Yeah, but you know what? You could sell cigars that way. That would be awesome.
But you know he still has the vacuum tube hooked up. Yeah. What do you need?
Have a conversation. Hey, what's up, man? You need some gummies?
Oh my God.
That'd be great. I can't wait to see it.
Or just a
We're
conversation.
Figure out when.
Hey, is this a bank?
There.
No, I'm Lars. How's your day?
I want to go in the daytime though.
It
can't be at night. I won't do
my God. How awesome would that be to still have the drive up window and it works? Like the microphone is just
pushing the lever down so the drawer goes out and pops open.
That would be, you know what? That'd be that would be a
awesome.
great cigar fucking thing.
There was that bank on the West Greenville that was for rent for the longest time. Now it's some stupid clothing.
We missed our opportunity
again.
The closest thing I ever came to it was I stopped at a cigar shop in Maryland that was in a not very good area, and when I walked in, it was literally just you walked in, it was the wall was to your left because the door's right by the wall. The cigars were on this wall, and everything was behind bulletproof glass. Everything. You walk in, you pointed out which cigars you wanted. They did the little drawer that came out, took your card or your money, then gave you your cigars, and you got the hell out of there.
Wow.
Well, Steve Sacco, his original office was supposed to be in a bank, and it was Dunbarton Bank and Trust, and then that's where Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust came from, and then the deal fell through, and he's like, well, the name sounds dumb, So I'm like, well, perfect. I mean, nobody really knows the story, so.
No. Well, my store is in a bank, and the only thing that remained of the bank is the safe, and that now is the handicap fitting room, and it's just like cinder block, and it echoes in there, and it's loud. But that's the only thing you can ever know that used to be a bank is what's left from that. But it was a bank for a long time.
I never found out if Lars his walk-in humidor is the safe.
I'd be cool.
And if there's a door on it, that's the safe door.
You spin it.
I'd be like, just give me that one right there, Lars.
Or is it?
No, I'm not going in there. I want that one right.
In the
fucking corner.
Does he have like the safety deposit boxes still? And that's like,
God,
I don't want to hear that
so
safe door close behind me when I go in to grab a cigar. It'll be the last you hear of me until he drags me out. It'll be the gimp.
That's fantastic.
Oh my God!
I can't wait to see it. We'll have to do like a live FaceTime.
He'd be dying hearing this shit. You know, because when I sung to him today, I was like, "Happy birthday, Lars, with a purple goatee, wearing a funny ascot and a bowler hat, Tetons."
Which I like the new. I like the old look. I like cowboy hat, Lars.
I like cowboy hat better. Too.
Yeah,
bowler hat makes me think of Meet the Robinsons.
He's stepping up his game.
And it's very
doing his thing.
wintry. Cowboy hat is like year round.
I understand that. I could see
But
that.
if you look at his cigar bands and his art, I mean, he is a man of 1,000 characters.
Yeah.
So the bowler hat, the scar, I mean, that just fits. It's like nobody's questioning that. Like he goes from one to the other, and it's just like, yeah, it's just Lars.
Yeah.
But you know what's funny is my theory to that is that he's now doing a show with Des in England and Cy in Ireland.
Oh,
so it has to be,
it's like
their
vibe is
when in
rubbing
Rome
off on there.
yeah. I mean, he's probably got a kilt on.
Yeah.
Hey,
Did you see that Ozzy and Sharon are moving back to England? Getting out of
really?
California because of Texas.
no. Really?
Apparently, they don't know there's 49 other states. But yeah, they're actually moving back to England.
Sharon, I like to get back to England. The taxes are too high.
Yeah.
Ozzy,
what about the other
Sharon?
49
Sharon.
states?
Oh, I thought you said Sharon. I was going to be like,
Sharon.
Sharon.
all I heard was Cher at first, and then I was confused.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Ozzy and Cher.
What the fuck are you talking about, Kevin? But yeah, now
Sharon.
yeah, they're moving back to England probably for other reasons too.
Oh, they said
Well, they have that ridiculous mansion there.
Oh, do they still? Oh, they still.
Also, isn't Ozzy like? I mean, he's not doing well.
We watched the documentary on him when
He's
that's
not
where he
doing too
had
bad
that. That's where he had that accident that he almost died from.
Yeah,
it was on the estate in
I
England.
saw like a little
yeah.
clip where he was accusing someone of stealing his beer
Yeah.
or something. His wife's like, "No, it was you. You drank the beer. You're the thief. You're the thief."
The stories of drunken Ozzy are like, they're amazing. Have you ever watched their show and like watched his documentary?
I used to watch their show.
I watched bits and pieces of it. Ozzy Osbourne and Keith Richards are still alive, but the Apple guy dies. How that's what clean living does for you. Whatever his name was,
Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs.
What do you mean? What the whoever
Yeah,
his
clean-
name was?
clean living.
Patriotic.
You know, being the
Yeah, I can't explain it because I watched a couple things on Ozzy and we watched something recently, and it's the drugs and alcohol. It's amazing he is still alive.
It
and,
is absolutely.
And the stuff he's done, it's he in the story he tells, he tried to kill his wife.
Yeah.
He got drunk one night and attacked her. And he said, all I remember is waking up in jail. And they're like, you know why you're here? I said, no. I said, you tried to kill your wife. I said, did I succeed? She hit the panic button and everything.
So
Tommy Lee still alive. Keith Richards still alive.
Well, here's the other thing too. Like, let's not even
Nikki
just say
Sixx.
drugs and alcohol. What about like STDs and AIDS and anything else they could have caught too?
I have
like,
no idea, man. It was the
I
80s too,
and then like they,
and
know,
they're all
a lot of them
heroin
did
users.
heroin.
Well, it's because
so
the
crazy.
one disease, that's what will kill you. When you have all of them, the diseases
They
are fighting
cancel each other out.
That's it. So instead of fighting you, they're fighting each other.
No,
so
but it is
the
true.
key is to have all the diseases.
You see a lot of these, and this isn't even just famous people. You see a lot of people who are addicts that have, really lived some rough life. Completely finally get clean or whatever, and they live for a really long time. Probably still have some issues medically, but you have these other people who've never done anything or are very healthy, active, exercise, eat well, and then they have a heart attack at like 50.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. It's mind blowing of how what it also goes back to like genetics too.
I think it's a lot to do with genetics. I mean, Nikki Sixx shot up heroin.
Yeah.
And said he freaking died.
Yeah, I'm sure quite a few times.
And then he said, I woke up with a needle in my arm and my hand full of blood because it trickled down. He said, what'd you do? He goes, I went out and I freaking I shot up some more.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course.
Just it's amazing.
Batteries running low.
Keep going.
And then when they all went to Russia for that big concert.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. The Monsters of Rock or whatever it was called.
Yeah, that's where my sister fell in love with one of the Russian metal bands, and I'm trying to remember the name of the band.
You got to figure
Oh,
that
God, I'll have to
concert.
think about it. It's freaking hilarious.
That concert amazes me when they talk about it because it was
Okay, freaking out.
You that guy's all right? You get a little choppy there.
No, it's freaking out.
Hold on. It's going to take a second to get. I forgot to plug the battery in or the.
That's
the
all right. We can
charger.
still hear you just fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're fine.
Oh,
but,
you can hear us, okay?
Yeah. You
Yeah.
just
Oh.
you're just a little choppy video wise, but
Okay, it's going to take a couple minutes.
that concert in Russia, it was at an airfield, and they were interviewing James Hetfield from Metallica, and he's like, we get out on stage, he's like, there was like 1 million people there. And he goes, there was helicopters flying over the crowd like military helicopters. And when you watch the video, it just amazes me to play in front of something that large. I mean,
I can only imagine what that is like.
Oh, God, I have to Google that and see how many. But it was an amazing concert. But God Almighty, I mean, just that. When was the last concert you guys were at?
My last concert? Oh Lord, let's see. I don't know when my last concert was. It's been a while. Probably like at least 7 years ago. I did like a festival here in Florida. Like we used to do Ozfest and all that stuff. And that was just like a bunch of different bands. But there was a place in Fort Myers that was doing bands, and I went and saw what the frick was the name of that band with my brother, and I didn't like them. I can't remember.
God damn, we got one.
It's been like over 7 years since I've been to a concert.
Yeah.
Was that bigger than the Central Park? Remember when the Simon and Garfunkel?
Yeah.
Does that still hold the record for the?
Well, the one thing said over 500,000 people, but then everybody, it's over 1 million people attending that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, hold time out for a second. This is driving me mad.
It's gonna.
You guys can't hear or see it, but it keeps blinking and making this dinging noise, and it keeps saying your battery's low. Your battery's low.
Yeah, it's gonna take a couple minutes to catch up. So as long as you can still hear us, who cares?
Yeah, and we don't hear the
fine.
dinging, and
So,
obviously your battery's not low, so you're good.
Yeah,
Broadleaf Bully Jess, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
It's driving me crazy.
So yeah, my last concert was pretty sure it was the Beach Boys.
How many years ago?
Amber was small.
Okay, that's a long
Maybe
time ago.
15, 18 years ago.
God.
So I've
What was
seen
your
the Beach
last
Boys.
concert?
Yeah.
With you, we saw Styx.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
REO and
Nice.
the guy from the Eagles,
Don Felder.
Don Felder.
That was great.
That
Well,
was
I guess-
right.
What
Right before
concert though? Like that was us going to
Oh,
concert. Like
Um,
back during your snowboarding and freaking
The-
rollerblading days.
that would be college. That was
Drum,
Morrissey
drum.
opened, and we saw The Cure in Newport, Rhode Island. And then
Well, that's when you failed your final.
that's when I failed organic chem.
Yeah.
That is correct.
I guess
Prior to that
you're talking
was
about like
the original
teenager
Lollapalooza.
20s.
Well, just like when you were kind of like younger and crazier.
Probably
concert-
like when I was
concert.
super young, not as like more of a responsible adult. My last concert probably was Rage Against the Machine.
I saw them at Lollapalooza.
Yeah, you can't count the risk. Like us going to Styx was a great concert and seeing Don.
No, I'm
Felder
saying for me,
was
like
fucking
as like
awesome.
a
But that was I wouldn't
as
consider
a
that going to a
teenager.
concert.
Well,
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
a teenager, I went and saw Rage Against the Machine. Like that's the one I can kind of remember towards like before I became like an adult.
Yeah,
When I worked at Children's,
And then I went to so
saw
many
Green
concerts.
Day,
Yeah, I saw Green
on
Day
the Charles.
too.
At that, this was when they were just starting to
Right.
come into the scene because it was a free concert along Charles River.
yeah. It's when you start getting into that non-party mode, they don't count anymore because, like, because I went to a lot of
Muddy
like,
Buddy Boston's.
like I
in-
see a
in
lot
Boston,
of bands
I saw.
play when I was in my 30s and when I was working in pharmaceuticals, but I wouldn't exactly call that as like woo, going
Oh,
crazy.
well, see, for
you
me,
know.
I did. Like, when I, like, in my 30s, I was still going and, like, enjoying myself
I was
immensely.
working.
Well, I went and drank, but I wasn't like slam dancing like I did when I went to go to Metallica. when I
No,
was
yeah,
fucking
no, I
younger.
haven't done that. I did
Yeah.
that, like, probably to my mid-20s, and then after that, it was like,
Yeah.
going to a show was cool, but it was more to hang out with friends and drink and,
Yeah,
you know, listen to good music. It really wasn't about, like, getting loaded and, I don't know, you're
exactly.
not as obsessed, you know, with the
Yeah.
music in that way. You know, but I
Yeah.
seen
Excuse me.
whatchamacallit, I used to go to the Reggae Sunsplash all the time at Meadowlands. And I seen Steve Miller Band like 5 or 6 times. Like their concerts are just fucking amazing. I
Cheap
even went and
Trick
saw
always played at
Rod Stewart,
Mm-hmm.
and Rod
Ooh, I'd like to
Stewart
see
was
Rod
on
Stewart.
one friggin' hell of a friggin' show.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it
I
was
like Rod
fucking
Stewart.
amazing.
I like his
I
music.
love Rod
Cheap
Stewart.
Tricks always played at Great Adventure.
Great Adventure.
In Jackson.
Oh, Great Adventure, yeah.
They
Yeah.
always were playing there.
Not going to be hanging from the rafters like Great Adventure.
No.
I want you to want me.
Yeah, I think we saw Bon Jovi at the Meadowlands.
I saw him with Joe.
Yeah, you
That
took
was
him with
Joe's
Joe.
first concert. That was,
Oh, it was Bon Jovi.
the year before COVID.
Yep.
That
Well,
was
we
Joe's
saw.
first
I saw
concert.
Bon Jovi before he was Bon Jovi famous. He was opening for I think it was Motley Crue, and he came out and they introduced him, and everyone was booing him off the stage, and he was in these hot pink spandex pants, dancing around on the stage, and everyone's like boo. But then he became huge.
Well,
So,
he's a Jersey boy, that northern Jersey.
yeah, well,
area.
my aunt went to school with the keyboardist. Went to high school.
Oh.
They were from Perth Amboy area, the other ones. Like
Claim to fame.
he was the only one that was from like the Edison area. Everyone else was from Perth Amboy.
Yeah. Yeah,
So that's where Razzmatazz is. It's like the other version of Chuck E. Cheese. I wonder if Razzmatazz is even still there.
If Chuck E. Cheese is barely still hanging on,
I know.
I'm not sure if the Razzmatazz
I don't know,
is
but
still
the
there.
Raz is gone.
I just remember it was a big rat, just like Chuck E. Cheese, but it was called Razzmatazz.
My roommate in college was from Sayreville, New Jersey.
Oh, Sayreville, yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of
Oh
the
wait, I
rock
think
guys
that's
came
where
out of.
I
Bruce
think that's
Springsteen is from.
no.
And
Maybe I'm wrong.
Bon Jovi.
Maybe
Bon
Jovi's
Jovi's from
yeah. Then someone
There's
else is from Perth Amboy.
There's a lot of those guys are from that area because there's a lot of those bands that kind of popped out that were part of that.
Well, you got
Kerr
New York
band.
right there too. You got Philly.
Yeah.
You got a lot during that time. Like that was probably the best time to try to break out in music. You know, for rock and for rap. You know, in that time frame in like the early '80s, '90s.
Oh, we were always seeing
killed
bands. You know, down in the village, just going parking.
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
you know,
That was
going
the
into the
best.
different bars, just listening to music.
Yeah, I had some friends that were always in like some bands, and we used to go to CBGB's and they'd play there, and
We used to go up to Sarasota all the time.
scary
and
place.
That's when we used to see Plain White Tees when they were just.
I don't know who that is.
I like them.
I don't know.
What was their song, Jen? You would
can't
know their
think
songs.
of it. You know it,
as
too.
I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't
I
sound
can't
I would
like
like
think
to
of
go
I
back
can
to
hear it in my
CBGB's
head.
back in the day. Must have been like a freaking
It was
drug
disgusting.
den with a
Hey-
band.
You
Hey
need
there,
a
Delilah.
tetanus shot to go into
Yep.
there.
Hey there, Delilah.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yeah,
that's
you know
probably
the
why I
song.
really don't
Maybe
care
not.
because
Yes,
that
you
song is
do.
stupid. Hey, Delilah.
It doesn't go like that.
The only
It
Delilah
sounds-
song that
You
I
know
listen
this
to is
song.
Tom Jones.
You know this song.
Tom Jones got a song, Delilah. Greatest song ever, man.
No, it's
Yeah.
not Tom Jones though.
Oh, this
Probably
hey
why you-
there, Delilah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
no.
that song.
You do know that song.
Yeah, I know the
like it.
song, but
Terrible.
who cares? It was terrible.
Sounds kind of like they want to be Simon and Garfunkel, but with less talent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only band. That's the only people that I've only ever wanted to see 3 bands play. The Monkees,
Why that one?
which I did. The Beach Boys, which I did. Minus Brian Wilson,
Mhm.
and then Simon and Garfunkel. That was which they broke up when I was like 4. So
And all the bands you're talking about, they're old as fuck, Kevin.
yeah. Is our video still fading in and out?
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay. Just dimming.
It's
Yeah,
not as
I
choppy.
don't know. I'm always just been like, I love all different types of music. Anytime there was any kind of shows or concerts or just even festivals, I did it all. But living in New Jersey made that easy. You know,
I'm
I
sure,
mean, it just
yeah.
made it so easy to go and do so much of that as
Probably
like
if
a young person.
Probably, I mean, really, at the two, if you lived in New Jersey or if you lived in Detroit, Michigan, like Detroit with the old Lions Stadium,
Yeah,
like
I mean,
all the epic concerts you see on.
but we just, I
Yeah.
mean, also I saw Tiffany in concert.
Was it not in a mall?
No, I saw her at Disney.
Oh.
We were on vacation and we saw Tiffany and I forget who else was performing. And it was like, I guess the first time they had like a real huge like concert like at Disney World. And it was freaking awesome because they had like fireworks going behind her and she was singing. And I was probably, God, I had to have been like, I don't know, 12. I don't know.
I love those
10 or
shows
12.
like, you know, like I love the 80s and they did that like 81, 82. And it was always like, that was like the biggest thing. Like once you become big, you went on the mall tour and you did these concerts in malls around the country.
I seen Def Leppard.
that.
Oh my God. I even seen
I saw Def Leppard too.
I saw the Nelson brothers. Ricky Nelson's son. He had twin boys.
I
and
like
they
have one
Nelson
song, one
brothers.
hit. Yep.
And then their sister is an actress or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't know he had twin boys.
Yeah, he had twin boys.
Yeah,
and, I got
they're identical. They had long hair.
Yes. Oh, beautiful.
Blonde,
gorgeous hair.
Yeah, maybe,
so nice.
Yeah, for some reason I don't.
They were good. They were good looking.
Like
their
voices.
dad was good looking too, you know, when he was younger. God, I've seen so many different types of music. I've seen Grateful Dead. I've never been to a Fish concert. I was never interested. Most people are deadheads, but I liked Grateful Dead, but I only went because, you know, everybody was going, but I never went to a Fish concert.
I'm not into them.
No, I mean, I just like some of their songs, but during that time too, when you're kind of like, you're like in high school and you're trying to like navigate, you know, who you are, you know, you do all kinds of stuff, and like going to a Grateful Dead concert was, I guess, cool, but it also wasn't, you know, because I was
what's
like,
cool is Kerr's t-shirt. Like,
yeah, it was
like
comment on the t-shirt
with the green screen. Like
it looks 3D.
I know. I got to send that to Matt Booth now. I'm like, Matt, you got to figure out this t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, it looks so badass.
Yeah, it looks like
it looks badass with the Broadleaf Bullies symbol kind of half in, half out.
I'm like, we can't see that. It just looks like it's moving and it's alive.
Yeah, it's like shiny. Yeah.
I love it. No, I like the shirt. This is great.
Yeah,
I love the logo.
Awesome. Cool logo.
Oh man. So what I missed?
Nothing.
Just concerts.
We were talking about how in the 80s, you knew you were big when you performed at a mall. The mall concert tour.
See, I think that's like so like
even
so
early
ridiculous.
90s.
Yeah, like the whole mall. That's where all the boy band and girl bands like got their start. Like Debbie Gibson, Tiffany.
Yeah, that's when that one. I forget that guy that put together all the bands, all the boy bands, the girl bands.
Well, he had a reality show.
What was it?
Did he? Like that guy that put all those together?
Did it? Yeah, he had a reality show, and you actually watched them kind of. P. Diddy, what the heck's his name? He also did it too with certain bands as well. But
Sean
yeah. He put
Sean Combs. He did it too. Yeah. But the other guy put together bands that were big with Disney, and I used to watch it. I can't think of the name, can't think of the band's names, but you watch them go through. It was reality TV back then.
Oh, okay. I
kind of like Making the Band. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think that was the name of the show, Making the Band.
I think now that you say that sounds familiar.
But how much money did that guy make?
Oh,
I mean,
sure
did he? I'm sure he kept a chunk of the band, the whole time.
They
definitely got screwed on making money. That's for sure.
Tiffany came out and even said like how bad, and even
back in 2003.
Why are you so loud?
Back in 2003,
I don't know.
Vanity Kane was the girls group, and the lead singer now looks like a hot mess. She used to be real pretty. Now she just has had ridiculous plastic surgery, kind of like the chick from 16 and Pregnant, who's a porn star now. I
There's
don't
a
know her name. She's
God.
and her daughter's like 12 and just got a
know,
bunch of
she
piercings. They're all over like Entertainment Tonight.
I just saw like a thing on TikTok with them.
Oh,
She
really?
gets
That
plastic
girl?
surgery nonstop.
so from the 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know she was still famous or still did anything.
She's famous in
Yeah.
the
She's all over social
sex
media.
world, kind of, I think.
Yeah.
But her daughter seems just so confused in life.
So
Like,
going back to
Really?
making the
I'm
band,
surprised.
No, but I mean,
Yeah.
but I mean, in a way that just almost makes you just kind of like stand back. It's like, obviously she has a right to parent however she wants. Like, who am I to say, hey, you're, what you're doing? But
well, you're a good parent, so you have the right to challenge bad parents.
I'm just saying though, like I don't know what kind of lifestyle they actually live. Like what you show on TikTok or in a picture doesn't mean that that's their day to day. I don't know.
Or that they put on a show.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Kevin,
leads you into
Lou
pornography.
Pearlman's the name of the guy who's putting all those bands together back then.
Who's that?
Lou Pearlman.
Oh, Lou Pearlman. Okay,
Yeah.
yes.
So
I still don't
O-Town,
remember
Danity
the show,
Kane,
though.
and there was like a bunch of other bands that were on making the band, and there was like 4 or 5 seasons, and I watched it back then.
Okay, Backstreet Boys and Sync. Okay.
Well, those were their famous.
What
his
about
famous
Boys to
ones.
Men? Boys to Men.
But yeah, so that 16
He
and pregnant
was
chick, she's like all over.
But you know what, Jess?
He's in hold on a second. He's in prison now, Jen.
Oh,
Yeah.
hold on, Kerr.
Yeah, he got 25 years.
for embezzlement, I know things went awry with like contracts.
Yeah, money laundering and stealing over $300 million.
I'll give you a call.
Yeah.
Well, usually Kerr and Jess take over the show anyway, so I might as well get mine in. Okay, I'm done.
No, I mean, keep talking.
I know about
earlier,
reality
too,
shows. That's about it. Reality.
No, but I
and
said
food
earlier
and
to
coffee.
Kevin, I said I kind of feel bad sometimes because we talk a lot about like cigars stuff. I said we really need to let Jen have part of more of the conversation of other topics. And now, there you go.
TV.
You know what name I was thinking of earlier?
Can't put that genie back in the fucking bottle, Jess.
Piper Parabo was in the movie Coyote Ugly, and in that movie, she was from Perth Amboy, New Jersey.
Oh, interesting.
Wasn't she an Olympic skier or snowboarder or something?
Wait, her character was from, because I remember they show the scene of her going in.
I thought she was
I was trying to think of that earlier, and I had to say it out loud now.
Oh my God, I can't with you.
She was an Olympic skier? What?
I thought she was an athlete.
She's Googling right now. I wanted to comment real quick while Jen, I disagree with you saying that you can't criticize someone's parenting like that.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
And the reason why is I believe that, yes, we all have our path and we all can, learn, and, it's never too late. We don't know people's stories and stuff. But if someone is fucking up royally, or if someone is not doing a good job,
right?
How are they even going to be able to see the light unless someone's pointing out the direction of the light?
Cash Me Outside girl. Her parents did a bad job.
Listen,
I don't know her parents.
That's not fair to say. I mean, there's
It's
people
extremely fair to say, because
but that's not necessarily the case.
No, she's not an athlete. Wrong person.
There are people who are lovely people and do try to raise their kids to the best of their ability, and their kids still go and commit crimes and do bad things.
Sometimes when the kids leave the house and they go to a bad neighborhood and they fall into drugs and everything and crime. That's the parents are you're limited at that point. The kid's out of your house. Cash Me Outside girl lived at home.
It's inevitable that if you scratch and go a little bit deeper beyond that 10% of the iceberg that's above the water, you're to find that no one disciplined them, no one freaking ever pushed back. She probably got everything she wanted.
You're not wrong. I think that
well, that's basically saying I'm right. So thank you.
No, but I'm saying but there is a twist.
You hear that all the time, Kevin? I'll take it.
There's a twist to it though, because I think I think we all have had pretty decent upbringings. I think that's a fair statement. The 4 of us have had a pretty good childhood, correct?
Yeah.
We have parents that loved us and took care of us, and
I mean,
raised us to
everybody
be good people.
everybody has their own buck bag of shit. That's what I'm saying.
Right. But what
Everybody
I'm
has their own
saying
bag
is,
of
though,
shit.
I feel like I think sometimes it's hard to like put yourself in someone's shoes that is really a generational fuck up, right? Like it starts and it becomes like a theme in a family. And like, who do you then blame? Do you go and blame the current parent, or do you blame the great great grandparent that set that trend of emotional abuse?
Oh, I
poverty,
agree.
all that.
Yeah.
So like
I
that's
agree,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. So there is
Yeah.
a twist to kind of. So here, this chick that we were talking about from the
Farrah something.
Farrah,
I
yeah,
can't-
that's it.
Fawcett Major.
I have to look
She,
it up.
you know, we don't really know what kind of
Farrah Abrams.
psychological damage
That's
has
it.
been done to her in general, because her mom seems like a fucking whack job. You know, like her dad was like a whack job in a different way. That it seemed like they could talk to him in such a horrible manner, and he just took it. He just like took.
Well, but I've
that
seen
they were basically
interviews
calling
where
them-
she's saying, you know, her being in porn is acceptable, whatever. That's her job. If she wants to do it, so be it. But she's like, I don't hide anything from my daughter, and I explain everything.
That's
like,
fucked up.
Well, people
But
like
there
that.
are but
you
there
were getting
are
off on a
people out
tangent.
there that think nudity and all that stuff is acceptable. I had a friend that her and her husband, they were naked all the time in front of their kids. Like it was just normal to them. I
Right.
don't know
But
that I
that's-
would have
but-
ever done that
well,
in
that's
front of my
different than,
children.
you know,
But that's a
But-
huge. I mean, I think that's different, and I think what you're saying is right. Is that you have, much like you see generational poverty, you have generational all sorts of things. You have generational successes, right? I mean, it's
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely. Yeah.
it is. But you know, I don't know. I think that subject's way too deep to get into.
It is.
because
It's definitely
at some point
major
in
deep
time,
thing.
at some point in time, you need to break the cycle, right?
Yes,
Someone needs to break
absolutely.
the cycle. And you'll see
Absolutely.
that when you have like two people will get married, will get together, and maybe this person had a generational freaking nightmare and this person didn't,
Mhm.
and they have kids, and then you're like, oh crap, we're getting divorced, but you still have this generational freaking screw up and nightmare that just continues to be a nightmare. And the sad part is that they don't know, because that's what they learned and that's what they know.
Yeah.
And
I know.
it's tough to break that cycle. I mean, it's easy to try and break a poverty cycle by doing XYZ, but even then, it's like, you know, you could have people that are in poverty win the lottery, and they'll be broke within 5 years.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
I
You
know. Because they have no skills. They have no proper skill sets.
And you take millionaires, even like I know people like Trump. The guy could file for bankruptcy tomorrow. Any of these millionaires could probably lose all their money tomorrow, and I guarantee in 5 years they're going to be a millionaire again.
Yeah. I mean, that's definitely a deep topic, and there's so many different layers to it, and people are obviously more complex than, you know.
Pull me into shallow waters before we get too deep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just
What
this
too much.
song?
song lyric.
What song?
I don't know.
Who sings it?
Don't know.
I'll give you a hint.
I need more.
She's married to Paul Simon.
Carly Simon.
No.
Who is the one? Who is the one-legged woman married to Paul Simon?
She's not one-legged.
She's not
That was
one-legged.
Paul McCartney.
Oh,
Paul
that's Edie
McCartney.
Brickell. Edie Brickell. Right?
Got the ball right, yes.
I
Edie
don't even
Brickell
know
and the
what's
New
happening.
Bohemians. That was a fantastic
Pull me
album.
into shallow water
I love
before
that
we get
album.
too deep. Yes, Paul
Did you listen
McCartney
to
was
them?
married to the one-legged girl.
Yeah, her name's Eileen.
Yes,
No, but-
she took half his.
No.
She took half his money.
Yeah.
Who's Carly Simon married to?
I don't know.
Not Jackson Brown. Who's the other one?
No, that was Daryl Hannah was married to Jackson Brown.
He
He used to beat her.
I have to look
And
it up.
there's
It's going to
that.
bother me.
Then
now.
there's that. Well,
You
I
let
can-
Jen drive the bus, Jess. You let
Yeah.
Jen drive the bus. This is where we're going.
Ike and
I
Tina
love it.
hit me again, Ike, and this time put some stank on it. What movie's
James
that from?
Taylor. That's who Carly Simon was married to.
God, what a dipshit.
I don't know
James
what
Taylor.
movie is that.
Liar, liar, Jim Carrey.
Oh,
yeah.
jeez. Of course it's a Jim
Yeah.
Carrey
I
movie.
think it was liar, liar. Hit me again, Ike, and this time put some stank on it.
Oh my gosh. I don't know.
Listen,
How did it go from what we were talking about to this?
Gasoline,
I don't know. All I know is that
gasoline, teen porn star, and
Yeah, I know.
all I know is Ken was talking about gas, and then
Generational poverty.
Jess gave Jen the keys to the bus, and now we're driving down
I
freaking
know, Jen's like, hold
Edie
on.
Patel and
Kara's pulling the stop rope.
Cassie
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah. Amber always said though, because 16 and pregnant was, I mean, her and Mary used to watch it every show
Teen Mom.
religiously.
When
watched
did
that
it
too.
start?
And she said that
Long
that's
time
what
ago.
kept her. She's like, I am never having kids like that. She's like that.
That's what kept her from having
Yeah,
a baby.
yeah.
Shit, all I got
Because it was
was
16
Jen-
and pregnant,
an
and then
egg.
it was teen mom. They
The
once
egg.
and the egg is cool.
because
Make
once
sure
they
you
had
don't
the
drop
baby,
it.
they went on to the Teen Mom show. Like it
Yeah.
was ridiculous how much money they made.
Do a
for
marathon
teen-
of Teen Mom, and it'll freaking
Yeah.
put that egg exercise to freaking shame.
You know,
Fuck
Kerr,
that
like
egg.
in the other room, so I still have my egg from high school.
Isn't that
Still have
gross?
it.
That's
I am
gross.
egg champion. I still have my egg.
That's
Are you
gross.
serious?
Yes, it's
Still have
gross.
it. Still have it.
Why am I
It's
not
just
surprised?
Yeah.
Listen. The weird shit this man keeps. He's a
Anybody
actually
else,
keep
I'd
I
be
have peanut
surprised.
Perry upstairs.
I actually
do
keep
too.
it.
I
In,
do.
I keep it. In, what's the container it's in, Jessica? It's another egg. I have like
Oh, that's right.
I
it
have
was
like a
another
large
egg,
plastic egg that has like styrofoam in
No,
it.
no
and
offense. You asked me a question and you didn't even let me fucking answer it.
We gotta go find that egg so I can show it to everybody on
He is
TikTok.
very
Funny.
excited
I
about
am
this
proud of that
nostalgic
egg.
moment.
Because I'm almost positive. I'm not even gonna say almost positive. I am the only human in existence that still has their high
No,
school
you
egg.
are probably not. There's
I would
other
not
weird
argue
people
that.
like
I think you're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Jot
You
that
didn't-
down.
I didn't have that.
And if
class.
somebody ever asked me, who do you think would still have their egg from high school? You'd probably be in my top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still have my egg. Drew a
Yeah.
little face on it and everything.
Well, yeah, we all listen. We
Yeah.
all had eggs except for Jen apparently, but we
I didn't have
we
that.
Yes.
understand the egg
Jess.
I brought home a
concept.
baby pig.
Jess,
that I had
where's
to
your egg,
dissect.
Jess? Where's your
My
egg?
egg. I forget him. As soon as we were done with that egg project, me and my partner, we fucking chucked that thing against the wall. Oh, that thing was freaking awful. We hated it. I left it in my locker so many times. It didn't teach me shit. It
Ted
didn't
Peg,
like.
look at
It was the
Cut.
dumbest fucking
I wonder if it's still sitting right there
class
on my.
for that we had
Ted
to do.
still loves his
Yeah,
egg.
go ahead, Jim. Listen, I'm
Puts
telling. We
little
named our
wigs
egg.
on it.
We named our egg Lucifer anyway because we thought it was so stupid. We had to get married, okay? Then we had to have this egg, and you pick like if you had a boy or a girl, or if you
Yeah.
had twins, and it was so
That'd be 2
fucking
eggs.
dumb. It
Double
was
yolk.
the dumbest project.
Yes.
Taught us nothing. Taught us nothing at all.
Taught you how to goof off with your
An
friend
egg,
and
basically,
pick
it
up
was
an egg.
don't drop the egg. Okay, so that's what you learned. Don't drop a baby. Like it doesn't teach you about you have to get up. It taught you nothing about babies at all. Not
Nope.
one fucking thing.
No, well, they have to because they just couldn't pick like a baby.
Well,
and
now
just
they
go-
have those dolls, don't they? Don't they have these stupid
I have
babies
no
that
idea.
like cry and like you have to wet themselves and all this stuff, like dolls?
I don't know
Those
the real
baby
doll.
dolls. I think it's like an actual doll that they use in like classes.
even-
Now. I don't even know if they do this now at all anymore. Like probably not. It's probably not
It's
allowed.
probably virtual.
Who probably knows anymore? I mean, Jesus
It's
Christ,
virtual.
what they're
It's in a
doing
box.
now.
It's in a box.
It's in a box somewhere.
Yeah.
I have seen it.
Yes.
It's very bizarre. That
I
you
showed
still
it off when we were dating.
That's what won me over.
That what got
This
you?
man kept his precious eggs safe.
Yeah, I'm like,
all the time.
you don't know if I will be a good husband and father? Here's my egg.
That he
That's a
can't
great
find.
resume builder right there,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
That's a Sheldon move right there.
That is a Sheldon move. That's freaking. I still remember when they
Uh.
gave my egg was March 9th, 1998.
Oh,
How old is that thing?
well, you'd had that in what freshman or sophomore year?
Sophomore year of high school is a science class.
It was probably
So-
15 or 16.
You
time.
called it science. It was like your science /
Probably
health,
30
sex
years.
ed, and whatever they
I
wanted
mean-
to throw in.
No, that was
category.
I don't know. I'm asking him.
Kevin, how
I
old
don't.
are you?
I'm 44, so yeah. What would I have been? 14?
No,
Yeah,
probably
probably 14.
16.
Well, no,
Yeah,
sometime-
15 depends.
Well, his birthday's in September, so
Were
Here
you?
in Florida,
How old were you when you graduated
go-
high school?
I would have graduated in 95. I did not.
Right. How old would have
So-
you been? I'm sorry.
I would have been 17 or 18. I think I'd have been 18.
The reason
Well, you
why
gotta think
the reason why I
school
asked
starts
that, Jess, is
different
because
here. Go ahead.
no. The reason why I asked that is because I'm a September birthday.
Right, but you're
and-
up north in Florida. They go to school in August and
Yes,
get out in May.
But it's still that September birthday where you graduate. Like when I first started school, I
get what you're saying.
I got held back in 7th grade.
So I'd have been 13.
When you graduated high school?
No, I'd have been 18. 18 in high school. So if you go back to middle school, 7th grade, I'd have been 13.
Right.
Well,
See,
we
I
were talking
graduated
about
high
that. We're asking
school,
how old your goddamn egg is.
Yeah.
but
So
I
I'd been
graduated high school in
Oh.
'89.
You did middle school?
Yeah, middle school.
You had an egg in middle school?
Yeah.
That's
Wow.
even more fucked up.
That is.
So
the
that
reason why
egg is 31 years old.
happy birthday.
Wow.
He has a 31-year-old egg baby.
The reason why I asked about September is because I
It's all
graduated.
fossilized
I
inside.
graduated in '89, but I was 18 because I turned 18 in September of '88, graduated in '89, and turned 19 when I went to college.
Gotcha.
I would have been 17 if I would have graduated,
Yeah.
which was young for my class because most of my classmates were turning 18 throughout the
18.
year.
Yeah.
It's a weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
So
September
I would
birthday's
have
weird.
started my senior year at 17 and then graduated when I was 18.
Yeah, see, I graduated.
No,
when I
you would
was
have graduated
17.
17.
Yeah, I graduated when I was 17.
I was
You would have
18
turned 17. You would
January,
have turned
so-
17 in '94, graduated in '95 at 17, and then turned 18 in September of '95.
No, I'd have been
After
19 in September of 95.
When did you know? In 1994, how old were you in 1994 in September? What birthday did you turn?
What year are you?
I'm 77. It was when I was born. I would have graduated in the summer of 1995. Since my birthday is in September, I would have turned 18. Correct?
After you graduated, though. What like your
No, before, because we start school in August, and then
Yeah,
that
that's
September,
what I was trying to say. In
yeah,
May-
that
and then you get
September,
out
I
in
would
May.
I would have turned 18. Correct?
Okay. I
yeah,
was
you would
wondering.
have been 18.
No, we start school when do we start school in Pennsylvania?
start
Usually it's the
in
first
September.
Wednesday after Labor Day, and then
Get out in
September
June.
1st is the cutoff for New Jersey.
Yep. And then
Okay.
June is when you get out. Like
Yeah,
sometime
All
in
right.
June.
June.
That probably
That's
explains
why
why
I
was
kept saying he
17.
he's in September. So I was like, you guys didn't start school
Right.
until about September.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did skip a grade though too, early on.
Yeah, but then you didn't graduate, but you did get your diploma.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
So
Yeah,
but
I got my good enough diploma.
yeah, good enough.
So
Good
Well, just
enough.
trying to figure out because I think I look back if I would have graduated when I was 17, like what I was
Do
supposed
you
to,
want to know though, like
I would have hated
the
it.
fact that you did not graduate and the fact that you're like a super intelligent person has to piss some people off?
Oh yeah, when
Because you got to think how people struggle. in
when
school.
I was quitting, I actually had to go and take a form around to every one of my teachers and get them to sign off on it. If they wouldn't sign off on it, then you had to have a meeting and everything else and explain to your teachers why you wanted to drop out of school. And there wasn't a single teacher.
Why did your parents let you?
It wasn't my thing. I had a job, I had a full-time job.
So that's
What
why
about
my
the
parents.
teachers?
That's
so
why
yeah, so
your
every
teachers-
teacher I went to, they just signed right off on it and they said, "Yeah, you'll be just fine."
Yeah,
Like
I
every single teacher.
Yeah, but it's still kind of fucked up that they didn't try to encourage you maybe to go on to college. I don't know. Like it just seems like a shitty guidance counselor.
Well, I did trade school after that. So yeah, so I was
well, that's what I did. See,
Yeah.
I was trying to drop out, and then they intervened, and they were like, "We have something better. Do a vocational trade school." And I did that, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I still ended up graduating high school, but without that vocational, I would have left because I was already working and was like, I fucking have to get the fuck out of this place. This is a joke.
I think if I hadn't taken like business management and law class and excelled in it, I don't know if I would have dropped out. Like that was like the class that's like, yeah, I got this. I got this business thing. I got life. You know, I can do this.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like school just was not a thing that I cared about either. And Graham was the same way. Graham went ahead and graduated a year early, but he left high school, went to like an alternative thing, and basically taught himself and graduated. He was like, done. He didn't want to do it. He's the smartest, stupidest person. Is like how I can describe it. But what I'm saying is like he's very much like Kevin. He like a lot like Kevin in that sense. Like you just know. And like for me, it was more like I just didn't fit in. I didn't want to do the whole like high school gig. It wasn't my thing. I could have cared less about high school. I was, not trying to be popular. I was not trying to fit in. I was just trying to like do what I liked. And I was really into art and graphics. And that's what saved me, was doing the vocational and certificate programs. It was awesome.
I just stayed in school and just did everything because I wanted to continue to play sports.
Well, you had something that you wanted
and it was
to do.
like, even going to college, it was like, I wanted to study criminal law and do all that stuff, but I wanted to play sports. And, there was some guys I went to school with that were like, I got 5 years to play 4 years of varsity football. I have the rest of my life to go to school. So they would take like the minimum, credits and stuff. But then I had somebody, I had our coach, after I had like a semester bad grade, say, hey, listen, here's the deal. You can keep doing this and, taking classes and trying to get your grades up and play football and this stuff. But if you keep doing this, it's not going to last. And you're going to have a car payment without a car because you're going to have to pay back your student loans.
Yeah.
Then I was like, oh, shit, I never thought about that part. You have student loans out. And I was like, okay. I don't want to be freaking paying back money and not have anything to show for it. So I might as well just keep going, keep freaking working hard because I'm already freaking, nipple deep into the freaking debt world of student loans, because I think, God, my dad paid towards some of my schooling, but I think like 70% of it was through student loans.
And
I went to
it's like my sister. My sister was like perfect. She did everything my parents wanted her to do. She went to college, and then she like calls me and says, I got kicked out of college basically because of my grades, and I have to drop out, and I need you to tell mom and dad for me. So I was like, what the fuck? Like, here is this person who actually like did everything she was supposed to and dropped out of college, out of FIT, the Fashion Institute of Technology. Like, my parents were pissed because that was a lot of money. That was a lot of money. And here I was, didn't need any of that. Was already fucking working at a print shop and stuff and doing my thing. And I had a kid on top of that and still was it was like the least trouble financially, I think.
Yeah, it was like Amber. She got every grant that she could. Worked her whole way through, and then didn't take any money from anybody.
Yeah, see, I paid my way through when I went to community college because I decided to do that when Graham was about like two or three. I was like, oh, I'll go to school. Yeah, and I did night classes and all that stuff. So, I mean, it's possible. I mean, I guess it's cool to be able to say you went to a university and all that stuff. I get that. For some people, for me, it wasn't even about that. It was just about being able to maybe move forward with a job, so I needed a piece of paper to say, hey, I know how to do this skill.
Right. No, I don't think it's cool that, some people think it's cool. I know that there's always that generational. My dad went to Princeton, so I got
there's sororities and also, and I understand that. I didn't grow up that way.
That's all the social life. I mean, neither did I. I was the second kid to go to college. My brother was the first one in our whole family, my mom's and my dad's side. Yeah. I was the second one to go to college. And even when I graduated, I mean, when I was in there, going through and whatnot, one of my best friends from high school, he went to college for 1 year. And afterwards, he's like, this isn't for me. You know, he got out and started working as a crane operator, union, and he's doing fantastic.
A union crane operator.
Yeah.
I got to tell you something. I was sitting there thinking, was those 3 years or 4 years of football really worth it? Because I got to tell you, he's working for the company and he's working as a distributor and like a salesperson, selling the cranes. Because he did so many years. He's my age.
Oh, the knowledge.
And you got to figure, he's working cranes in Philly, Jersey, all over the place. I mean, the guy's he always had work. When
they were talking about like all the shipping delays and everything else, and they were talking to those crane operators at the ports, that were the union guys, and they're like, yeah, we're mandated by union. We got to take like 2-hour lunch. We're only allowed to work like 6 hours a day. And the one guy's like, he goes, yeah, and they pay me almost $200,000 a year. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was my Uncle Jimmy. That's what he did. He was a crane operator in New Jersey for
it's crazy.
Union. Yeah.
He worked on 3 Mile Island when they replaced the reactor. He was freaking toting this big freaking reactor and putting it in there. He's, at 3 Mile Island. I mean, it's just amazing. But I went to school with a lot of guys too who just were like, parents are rich. They send me to school and they fail out because all they do is sit around, get drunk, and get high. And it's like, what are you going to do next? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'll just go home and kind of work for the family company a little bit, and then maybe go back to school because they don't, and we talk about some people have that generational success of. Yeah. Your kids go to school and they do well and follow your footsteps, but then you have, even educated, well-to-do parents can still be bad parents based off of how they treat their kids and how they hold them accountable to these things. And I've met a lot of them in my school that I went to that were just rich kids that just didn't have any accountability. I used to call them a lot of pseudo hippies, the guys that would sit in their apartment and they had every single Grateful Dead, tape, because that's what we had back then, cassettes. Yeah, great. All the bootlegs, and they always had weed, and they always had like the perfect freaking outfit and the perfect this and the perfect that. And then I'm like, man, these guys, they're just kind of like living their life, and they got their little Volkswagen van. Well, shit, I could be a fucking hippie too if my parents paid for everything.
Right. If they paid for it,
you're a real hippie
person who's like struggling.
It's
not living that way.
In the 60s, live in the mud in a teepee. That's a real hippie. You're not.
I never realized that we were. I mean, I wouldn't say we were poor by any means, but I didn't realize like financially what type of category my family was in until I was like in middle school, high school, and would go to people's houses. And then I realized like what our life was like versus their lives. And you learn quickly social like cues and,
it's also money management too.
Yeah. But it's definitely interesting to, kind of like learn that way. Like, and then you kind of get that feeling too. Sometimes when you go to someone's house, like you're not good enough to be friends with their kid. And those parents give you that vibe or kind of have their kids make excuse why they can't come over or whatever, because it is a social thing. They're like, well, that kid can't maybe be that great because their lifestyle is different than ours.
That's New Jersey. You guys suck in New Jersey.
It happened a lot. Like I remember growing up, like my sister, like always wanted the nicer things. Right. And we just couldn't afford that. And so she got a job at a young age because she wanted to look the part, right? And she's always been kind of trying to keep up with the Joneses like her whole life. And like I don't care. I don't apologize to anyone. It's like I work hard for my money and I have what I have, and what I don't have, I don't have. But I remember growing up and had some friends that were they were pretty wealthy, their parents, but they didn't like their kids hanging out with me or my brother because they thought we were poor or like not in their their money status. So it's kind of sad, that parents teach their kids to be that way.
Do you have that in your area?
Yeah, it was
Jersey,
where I like my neighborhood, because there was a main road 2 blocks over, so you didn't cross over that road. So in where my mom
I think there's a lot of roads like that in Jersey.
Like we were all like my dad was a sheet metal worker. My mom stayed at home. And then when I was in middle school, well, late elementary school, she worked part-time as the librarian and then church secretary. But she was always, my dad was the breadwinner, but it was just a modest blue collar household.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood, that's what it was. The moms usually were home, and then the dads worked as a mechanic or whatever. So we all kind of played together. And then, but then friends that I went to school with, you had, the girls, their fathers owned like businesses in my hometown, were money makers, and you go to their birthday parties and it's just like, wow, like mom threw me my first birthday party.
When you're in elementary school, everything beautiful.
Get a cake from a grocery store, never mind an ice cream cake.
Yeah, my mom made us our cakes.
Like these party games, and it was just like, you didn't have what I would see.
You got yourself a homemade cake, still in the metal container.
You. So that's why Jen goes overboard with Killian, because she didn't have
listen, I'll
fudgy the whale cake.
I'll be staying over on Saturday. We're doing a Lego themed sleepover.
So cute.
I just
so cute. But I agree though. And maybe Jen, maybe she's not doing it for that reason. But
no, I'm not doing it for that reason. I just enjoy it. But
no, you enjoy it, and that's the same thing. Yeah. Like we
were all friends, but like I didn't stay close friends with them. Like you say hi on Facebook when it's their birthday, but you still, the kids that I grew up with are the ones that when you're in town, you're like, hey, what's going on? Or like, my mom will see their parents still at grocery stores or whatever. It's just definitely
it's the truth.
Economics and socioeconomics.
And that's the thing. Like I have a lot of the people I'm still really good friends with now. It's like we grew up the same way. We speak the same language. Our family is like the same. So there's a relatable thing there. But it's just interesting that, it's hard when you're trying to break out of that. Like you can't help kind of what you're born into. I had good manners. My parents taught me to have good manners and be polite and be respectful. And I've never felt like a bad person or like a dirty person until I would go to these people's houses and they would make me feel
I lived
like I was
what
less
I would call
than
a normal middle class, just blue collar household. Like our house was with my brother and with me. Our friends came, my brother's friends came to our house because we had, a backyard with a patio and my parents would be like, I don't care if they're over, but they're sleeping over. Their keys get left on the kitchen table.
That's how my parents were.
And they were very friendly, like even and cordial to my parents. Even when I went away to college, the first summer I was up in Boston, I would find out that they would, ask my mom, hey, can we hang out in your backyard? Are you okay with it? And
this is all in high school and stuff, you guys, because you got really what you guys are describing is like every John Hughes movie.
No, but what is crazy though is that like my parents, all these people that I'm talking about, their parents treated me or like my brother or like other friends that were in like my situation badly, but my family and their family would embrace them, like come over, hang out, And I learned, I that's what I'm saying. I learned quickly of like who people are, and like unfortunately, like some of those people I was friends with or friendly with, turned out to kind of be shitbags later on in life because of the way their parents kind of, probably told them, like, you can't hang out with those people. We lived on the wrong side of town.
And now look at you, you're famous.
Yeah, right. Whatever. But I'm just saying, like, there's been, my brother and I actually just had a conversation not long ago about this. Like, it's sad. It is. And I think about that sometimes and go, man, like, I'm so glad I've never done that with my kids. Like everyone, be friends with whoever you want to. It doesn't matter, but that it's not like that.
Well, and also I want, our children, it's okay to put effort into a friendship, but it needs to be both.
Right.
It needs to be street. Like you can't be the only one just putting effort into friendship. And I've gone through that where I've been close friends with someone for years. And you know what? I'm tired of always being the one reaching out. So you know what? If they want to contact me, so be it.
Yeah,
it's on them.
I get that more as an adult.
So I have no friends.
I get that more as an adult now.
That's why I'm Broadleaf Bully.
Yeah, that's why we're bullies.
But you see, when I went to
It's
middle school, I went from the north side of town to south side, and we were treated differently in middle school.
Southside.
But we got into high school, we had some families that had money, but it seemed like most of the people that I knew, I was friends with in high school, and it was a very small high school, who had money. It wasn't like, hey, we had some doctors and lawyers, right, that were parents, but they were all cool. I mean, they didn't look down on anybody. And a lot of the folks that did have money were all working class. We had someone who owned a moving company, and he owned a freaking biggest moving company there, and they had money, or someone owned a dealership, but no one was really ever kind of like, don't hang out with this person or make you feel like crap. I mean, we'd always go over, and even some of the guys who I am friends with, or was friends with back in high school, and still know today, that are doctors, they're still the same cool person I hung out with or was friends with. There was very few snotty people like that. Because
I think too, it's different for me. It was more like, I graduated like in the 90s, and so there was grunge and there was a lot of hair. It was big, huge heroin epidemic started.
The 80s?
No, but I'm saying like social media, like, internet, all that stuff was more popular, in the 90s. Like, I think there was more stuff on the news, like a lot more was happening where parents were
late
like
90s.
Yeah,
we didn't have internet until I was working.
I mean, but even like
I had internet in high school. You guys didn't have internet?
I graduated in 91.
I meant like, so for me, we had internet.
Well, yeah, I guess when I was in college, that's really when that was the early 90s, late 80s is when, computers started to be a thing. And even in high school, that's what some of the teachers in the way our school acted, they would treat this, the A track kids and stuff like that. Like, there was like, if you were B track, they're like, the world needs ditch diggers too, I mean, but they never treated you like you were going to be something else. And I kind of laughed. Because I'm like, all those people that you thought were going to go to college. And, I had the guidance counselor tell me, you should go to, your grades aren't good enough and you're not good enough football player. You should go to Stevens Tech, go to a tech school, where it's a 2-year school, learn a trade. They have football there. It's kind of a step up from high school. That was the advice he gave me.
I mean, to be honest, I'm glad my guidance counselor advised me to go to Votech, because that was the best thing for me. But it was different for you because you had a love for football.
But I also thought he was, it was, one of those kind of jealousy, self-serving things. And I was like, F you. And
probably
we got into it like several years ago. He started commenting on Facebook and made a comment, and I fired back. I said, listen, I'm not the same 17-year-old kid that used to bring into your freaking office and condescend to. I'm like, he's like, but don't you remember? I said, yes, I do remember. I remember the advice you gave me. It was terrible advice, based off of
it was terrible advice.
I don't think it was terrible advice based off of the reason why he gave it. And not seeing the potential, especially in athletics, versus the advice that he could have or should have given. It was a very, in his manner, and a lot of folks do this, as you see them, they don't want someone to excel above what they did. So they're going to say, you're not good in sports, so why don't you just go to a 2-year school and just kind of play a couple of years and have fun with it. So that's where I felt that he had his motives.
In
that area.
One of the most successful kids, I consider him successful in our high school, my buddy Adam Burke. He's a lion tamer.
What?
So
that's crazy.
So his dad was the lion tamer and trainer for Ringling Brothers his entire life. Yeah. His mom, who I worked with when she got pregnant with Adam, stepped back from the circus, but she was the trapeze and then the bit, so they were circus people.
Yeah, they were.
They were world-renowned circus people. Circus people. So
there's difference between carnies and then the
I know, I'm joking.
So she retired to raise Adam while his dad still traveled the world with Ringling Brothers.
How cool.
And then once Adam was done with high school, hung around town for like a year and then started traveling with his dad. And now Adam Burke is a world-renowned lion tamer and
See, that's
tiger,
awesome.
you know. And
That
I'm like, I
is
see pictures every
cool.
now and I'm like, it's so cool.
You want to know what's cool though is the history from the Ringling here in Florida. I mean, like it's such a huge history that like I don't think people realize like that that's where they came.
Oh yeah, he has the
John and Mabel.
Yeah, he has the Ringling brothers that bit on the elephants. You know, they wore the big medallions like on their head.
So
he has the medallion from the last elephant that they used in the circuit.
The museum is actually fantastic because it's like 3 parts. You know, it has like a whole art section for, like Van Gogh's in there, Monet, all that stuff. And then they have the whole circus museum. And then they have like something else, and then the gardens. And then they have their house, Mabel and John's summer home, which is Cezanne Mansion. I think it's Cezanne or Cezanne.
I think it's a Cezanne something.
Cezanne, and it is the whole back part of the patio is all marble, and it goes out to the ocean. And over time, obviously, eroded it. But I mean, everything was imported from Italy or France. I mean, the detail in this home is just amazing.
That's FU money right there.
Yeah, it was. But then the gardens, and then it's just cool to see a lot of the circus history and to really find out, like, what happened to some of those animals and how they traded there. It was probably one of the only circuses that really treated the animals probably the most humane way, right? In the other circuses and stuff. But yeah, crazy.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
I mean, how does he have a conversation with a guidance counselor? What do you want to be? I want to be a lion tamer.
Lion tamer.
Yeah, that can't. Well, that can't be. Well, you know who my dad is, right?
Yeah.
I hate clowns, but I will tell you right now, anytime we get clowns into Goodwill, we have to look and see if they're numbered or anything, because there are like collectible type of clown stuff, especially from the Ringling stuff. Yeah, people hunt for that. Sells for thousands of dollars.
Mike and Frank from American Pickers was in Sarasota, and they were
I bet you they
were picking an old barn, and they had a bunch of circus stuff that they bought while they were.
Was that the big tarp paintings that they?
Oh yeah. I saw they did an episode of that where they found like a guy that had like 100 of them.
I thought that was up in New York.
Ridiculous.
I thought it was up in upstate.
Well, I don't know where that one wasn't in Sarasota. I remember seeing. I remember seeing that one that you're talking about.
Yeah, it's just really cool, like the amount of stuff though, but like how much it's worth now. It's so
well. The ones that go for the most are the from the old sideshows.
Oh,
Snake Lady or what? If you had one of those, like Jen said, tarp or canvas advertising, like those go for insane.
But it's definitely neat to see all the actual stuff though.
Yeah,
like you can go there and see all the carriages, and I mean you can literally touch them, like they're right there. It's so neat. That
I didn't go to high school detail. Cool like that. The dad was a lion tamer. It was.
I know. I know. I think 2 girls from my high school got knocked up.
I mean,
that's about it. I don't know what anybody else is doing in my class.
I kid you not. I went to high school.
Something great.
9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, right? Four grades in my high school. We had 185 students in the whole high school.
What? Jesus.
Yeah. Catholic high school. High school. And we had 3 girls pregnant at one time.
Ooh.
So
those odds are very small.
You're not blending in when there's 185 students and actually I think we had 5th one, and she like had her baby and was like back on Monday. It was just like crazy. We had seriously 4 girls. It was amazing in a small high school like that.
Yeah,
and it was very cliquey. That's why I said our guidance counselor was like, guidance counselors have come a long way, because I mean, they're doing counseling to kids in middle school now on what classes they want to take in their trajectory, and with sports and academics. Yeah. Back then, it was like, there's A track, there's B track, and G track. Well, you're in B track and G track. Yeah, the world needs ditch diggers too. Have a great day. Like they wouldn't even give you the time of day to set up any type of academic goal. If you had an academic goal, They just looked at you as a what track you were in. And that's why I was telling my dad, I bitch about my high school, even my grade school. I was like, the most unchristian like people I've ever met were freaking other Christians and Catholics in this system, because they just labeled you, and then they just kind of treated you the way that they labeled you. And I admit I didn't really give myself any help with goofing off and being a clown and fucking around sometimes. And placement tests just kind of went through and answered the questions to make a funny freaking symbol on my answer sheet when it was just filling the A, B, C's, and D's. But they, even if you expressed interest, they would just look down. No, you're B track, your business. You'll probably go to some sort of 2-year business school. No, you're G track. No, you really want to learn a craft. You got to do something like that. Maybe go in the military. Oh, you're A track. Oh yeah, here's a computer lab. I never saw a computer in my life in front of a real computer until I got to college my freshman year. And I didn't know a damn thing. It was like intro to computers. And most of the kids in my class, God bless you, have had computer classes in high school. I never did.
Yeah.
My first assignment, it shows you how our first assignment was successfully send the teacher an email.
I remember being on a computer in middle school.
Yeah.
I remember it was not what computers are now, but I even did my graphics was on old IBM computers.
What year was that?
When I was in middle school or in high school.
Well, middle school.
Let's see, I graduated 90s? In 96, so
early 90s.
It was
it had been 91.
It was like 91 or 92. But I even kind of remember something in elementary school too, where they had like computers, but they had games. Do you remember in elementary school we had like games or something? Like even it was like number math games and stuff. You put in the little floppy disk.
Yeah,
and
no,
it played a game. Any of that shit. I had that in elementary school too. But as far as like going on like computer and like internet, I was in middle school.
Yeah, I was in high school, and like I said, I took typing.
I took typing
all 3 years of high school, and then we had computer lab. We didn't
do computer lab. I learned typing on a typewriter.
Yeah, I did. I learned on a typewriter and a word processor, and then on a computer.
No. But
I did all three.
High school, thing about that, my dad, he didn't go to school that class with the kid. I can't remember if the kid was right after my dad that made the American flag, that drew the American flag that we have now. That was a national. It was a national contest. On to come up with the
believe it or not, I was in the newspaper because my poster that I drew for Mothers Against Drunk Driving MAD won, and I won $500. I was in 3rd grade, and I had my picture in the newspaper.
We fly this
my
kid's flag above our house.
All over the place, everybody.
Yeah.
I am semi-famous for Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Like this kid's his whole life, and he's like, oh, that's a sweet story. Hey, you know that flag outside your house?
Yeah,
I did that.
Yeah, that's me.
And listen, and then when I was in high school, my poster for SAD, Students Against Drunk Driving, was in all high schools in New Jersey. My poster.
I had
just saying.
I had the 3rd best that took the most weight toothpick bridge in middle school. I built a toothpick bridge.
Did that save lives? My posters could have saved lives.
Well, I mean, anybody crossing over my toothpick bridge,
maybe
potentially very safe toothpick bridge.
Yeah, that was my first shot at engineering. Was
you guys are talking about all these computers and shit, and I'm blowing my mind. I was like,
we had to engineer and build a bridge in middle school, Carrie. What were you doing with your life?
I don't know. Apparently, it was. I feel so neglected, and ill prepared for the world of computers going into high school. But what's funny is you talk about success, right? My friends, the Kleins, their mom was a stay-at-home mom. Their dad was a truck driver, and he drove. Yeah, he probably could answer where the oil, the gas came from, because he drove real big tankers. And again, people just good with money, and they had a nice house, and they had a computer. And I always laugh at the episode of The Big Bang Theory when he finds like the old IBM games where it's like, you've encountered a bridge. Do you want to make a left, pick up an axe, or make a right? And they would play these games on their computer. Oh, yeah. And I'm just like blown. I just was like, I had no idea what I was looking at. I was like, what is this crazy machine? And then I found out in college, my freshman year in college. And then from there, we had access to the computer lab. I think we had 8 computers at my college, and that was it. And then I had a guy in my political science class that I had my mom got me a typewriter, and then he had a computer with a printer. So that kid made fucking coin typing out people's papers for him. All you got to do is give him. Here you go, Earl. Give him a freaking paper and a bottle of Boone's Farm wine, and my freaking shit was freaking typed up and then freaking printed off and ready to hand to the teacher.
Kerr now being Adobe Photoshop expert.
Yeah.
I know. See what they freaking that was shortchanged back then, but
yeah, you were. Think about all the talent that you.
There was two or three kids in my college that had computers in their dorm room.
Yeah.
At the time.
God, they made massive friggin' units.
Fuck yeah, but they made buku bucks. Get a big unit, the real big.
I had a dot matrix.
Oh God, on that damn printer.
Oh, Jen with her dot matrix.
Yeah. The printer, and you gotta.
And then you go to print your paper, and it goes across the dotted. Oh my God, perforation.
And if it didn't
you're trying to line
properly,
it up again.
Yeah, I had a fucking typewriter. Life must have been hard for you.
I had a typewiter too.
I had an electronic typewriter.
Still has. We have it back in New Jersey.
Yeah, I had a typewriter, and then I had a word processor.
It was
I had a word processor forever.
Wheeled and dealed for it.
My first computer I got was when I graduated college, and I worked at Enterprise Rent-A-Car, didn't get a computer, and when I worked at Smith Klein Beach, and that's when I bought my first computer.
God, computers now versus then, like, it was so expensive.
All you did was type papers on it.
Yeah,
that's all I used
it wasn't even worth, like, now if you think about it, it's like, that's all it does. Like, just
I remember having to get the AOL disc or whatever you were using.
Yeah, the free. You get so many minutes on it.
Downloading pictures was like beep, beep, beep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
God, can you imagine trying to wait that? I get mad when it's not like super,
I know.
Like I couldn't even. I should have more patience because we grew up not, having it that fast. But now it's like
because
so
Amber,
fast.
like I said, so her generation is the year she was born. That was the first generation that has never not known technology. So from the moment she was born, cell phones were a thing. She had computers with internet. It was DSL, but you didn't have to put a phone on it. But she
unplug the phone, plug your computer in.
One, she didn't really. But I had a track phone. Like that was my first cell phone, and I was like 23 when I had it. Mm-hmm. Like I don't know what people did before, but we had pay phones, like, and pagers, so we could use that. But I mean, I would just call home from my friend's house or from a payphone. Hey, hanging out with these people. Be home this time on the house phone.
Do you guys remember how many phone numbers you used to know?
I used to know everybody's, and it's so crazy because a guy came in the other day and we asked. He was shopping and we have a perks program and you have to give your phone number. And I asked him for his phone number and he said 908. I said, "You're from Jersey?" And he was like,
"How do you emergency breakthroughs when you can't get through your
friend's line? And then three-way calling.
I don't know.
Oh my God,
I don't know that. Yeah.
You don't know emergency breakthrough? You would call the operator and they would break through the line and say,
"You never did that."
No,
this is an emergency.
No, we always just called the houses where people were at.
Yeah, but it was busy.
The line's busy.
The line's busy. When you got the busy signal and it was busy for a real long time, you could do an emergency breakthrough.
I know. I didn't know that.
Oh my God. Like it was the best in the cord. You could walk like around the house like try to hide.
My mom still has a wall phone in the kitchen with
that's what we had was a wall phone.
I would even go down the basement stairs, which are right there.
Her mom's house like walking into a time capsule. It really
is. I believe it.
That's my grandma's house where my uncle still lives. The original stove, sink, like same thing, phone on the wall. You know, I don't know
She
if
had a
anybody
rotary
uses
I
phone
love
just
that.
until a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you walk
I
into
love
their house
that.
and it is a time capsule.
So in some ways, like technology is great, but I do miss the nostalgic of things.
I
And
don't
then
miss
if I
any of that
think
crap.
about it, then like I would probably lose my shit if I tried
You talk
to
about
like,
the
call someone.
when you talk
I
about
want
having
eat-
patience. I used to tell the kids, I'm like, listen, just think of this for a moment. Now you wake up in the morning, you grab your phone, you're texting your friends, and you're in communication 24/7. Imagine wake up in the morning, actually needing to interact with your parents, eat breakfast,
Eat breakfast.
and go to school. And when you get to school, you maybe pass your friend in the hallway, say, hey, I want to catch up with you. You see the girl that you like and say, hey, how you doing? Hey, I'll give you a call. And then you have to wait till you get home, eat dinner, and then call after dinner because you never called during dinner time.
Right.
And then call, hey, is Jen there? Hi, man. Hi. Goes, hi, man. Please speak to Jen. No, this is Carrie. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Hello, sir. How are you? Yes. Yeah. I go to school with your daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Jen is grounded and she can't talk to her friends right now.
We're in the same class. Okay. Oh, she's not home right now. Can you please leave a message and let her know I called? Let me give you my number.
Even
Okay.
prank call now?
Yeah.
No, because you could see everyone's phone number. Man, we
can't-
prank called the shit out of people.
Okay,
that
Bart
was
Simpson.
the best. I mean, we were constantly
We
pranking
I
people.
did collect calls to my parents
awesome.
when you're
Oh,
out.
I did
somewhere.
collect calls too.
To collect call
But
from
the-
Bobby and a baby Savoy.
But that was and you three lived through that. Was I remember the Jerky Boys was the prank call.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They were out
Yeah.
of New York,
Yeah,
whatever
they were
radio
funny.
station.
They were funny.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen,
oh,
pal.
God.
I don't need to talk to you. I don't know. You tell me this tile's sandalwood brown. I don't know what the fuck this is. They're all
Listen
broken.
here, scissor lips.
Listen here, chisel chest.
Yeah,
I gotta tell you
chisel chest.
something.
I
I don't know.
I still
My
have
kids,
all
my
the
kids on the phone. And my kids throwing up all over the place. And you're talking fucking coupons? I'll kill you.
I still have all the Jerky Boy CDs. Still have them.
You know what was great when caller ID came out? Then they thought, okay, that will stop people from, like harassing people. No, because then you could punch in a code and then still dial the number that would block your number.
You had to, when you had caller ID, it was a box that connected to your phone.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh,
we
that
used
was
to
so
we used to
great.
call the local the convenience store, Sanders, and they always go, is your refrigerator running?
Running. I was gonna
You're
say
gonna-
it was.
And it was, do you have Prince Albert in a can? And then he caught on after a while. You go,
and back then nobody knew what Prince Albert was, and you just
now,
asked
if you say it now, they're gonna be like, what the hell that was? But it was freaking tobacco. And you go, do you have Prince Albert in a can? Yes, I do. And I let him to go out pee about an hour ago because he's like, I know this is a crank call. You're a kid trying to disguise your voice. Oh,
Mo Sizlak calling when I get my hands on you.
Do you have Prince Albert in the can?
But I took it. I had to take it one step further. Growing up was because my aunt and uncle were deaf, so we had to call somebody and talk to her while she was typing.
Oh, the TTTY.
Yeah, the TTTY. So and then so yes, we
How
had.
often did you call your aunt?
We had to call a couple times a month, and just we called. You started off with your hi grandpa.
Your parents.
How are you doing? Okay, here's your grandma. Talk to her for a little bit, and then like one day I was like, hey, you got to call your uncle Mark or your aunt Cheryl.
Oh, Jesus.
And then I said, you got to talk to this lady like it's her, and then she would type it out on the phone.
I guess it's just a Jersey thing. Everybody lived near everybody. Everybody knows everybody, and like we didn't need to call people on the phone.
Yeah, they were in Ohio. We were in Florida.
Yeah, we saw them every Friday at my mom's house.
That's what I'm saying. Like my family, like on my dad's side and my mom's side, no one lived far away. Everybody was there.
We had a few people that lived a little bit farther away, but outside of that, we saw.
That's kind of like the Jersey way. It's like when you leave, like you do feel a little like out of sorts because it's kind of like it is kind of like a compound cult type of thing. Like you don't leave your family, you don't leave your area, you grow up and you stay there. Like you know,
that's what my dad was ostracized by the family for years because he left Ohio with my mom, and then it had been 3 of us at the time. My sister Jamie was actually born here, but they just packed up. They were just tired of snow and winter and Ohio, and like they left. Like nobody, you didn't leave.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
just didn't
my
leave.
dad did that too. He went in the Air Force. My dad got in the Air
Yeah.
Force, and my grandfather was pissed, and he said, "I am not going to live in this house and work to give you money." Like my aunts who are older than him, that's what they did. You know, they graduated high school, they freaking worked, and but if they made money, they gave money to mom and dad to pay for the bills. And my dad said, "F that, I'm going in the Air Force." And boy, oh boy, they did not like my dad for the longest time.
Yeah.
Yeah, they blamed my dad when the youngest Cheryl, when she was a hippie. She packed up when she was like, I don't know, like 16 or 17, and headed to like New Mexico. And
They blamed your dad.
Yeah, because
All your fault.
because he set a precedent. Like you could leave.
I was the only one who left.
But
for the
they
longest time.
But they worried about her. She, young deaf girl, going out into the world, and
I don't know. I never zero fucks given. I was like rebellious. I did whatever the hell I wanted. I was like, peace out. Then my brother shortly did the same thing, but my sisters never left.
But she's
actually my dad was okay with me moving because of what he did. He was just like, "Hey, listen, wherever you move, as long as you're happy, just do well."
Yeah, everybody was a little freaked out that I moved.
No.
Yeah, she's actually the famous one in the family.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Like if you went to what's that?
She the pepper lady, the bell pepper lady. the baby bell.
No, that's my sister's husband.
Yeah,
my stepsister. No, Cheryl's like in the she's famous in the deaf community. Like, there's probably like if you meet anybody like over like 40 years old that's deaf, they know my Aunt Cheryl. Like she's
really.
She spent the last 40 years in college, earning so many doctorates, so many masters.
What school?
Gallaudet School of the Deaf.
Yeah, so I played them in football.
Oh, did you? I think she's. Yeah. I'm almost positive she's the dean there now.
Yeah, I think that's what.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, she like pioneered like how you teach deaf kids.
Yeah.
Like I said, she went out to New Mexico and
isn't it
started
politically correct to say hearing impaired?
Yeah. Teaching on the Native American reservations, deaf kids because they didn't know how they weren't taught like ASL
right.
So yeah.
Right. Well, I think it's interesting because when Wyatt was born, the first thing that he ever learned was sign language. And that's how he communicated with me until he started to get language. And every once in a while, because once you get language, they drop the sign. Like they stopped using it. A lot of kids do. Once they learn language, they don't sign anymore. But Wyatt his teachers still sign from middle school, high school, all that stuff. They still do it. Every once in a while, when he's talking to me, he'll still sign like certain things. And I'm like, oh, it's really crazy that he retains some of that.
That's good.
Because I learned the basics in the beginning just so I could communicate or understand him. And then I know very little now. What I did know was like still little, but now it's even less than that. Did you ever learn sign language?
I didn't. And then my dad, he was probably in his 40s when he actually went to
take classes.
Because he always knew a little bit. So like my Aunt Cindy, obviously the third in line, she's fluent. I mean, she's just but she was really young, so she went to school when she was young. And then obviously as a kid you can learn any language.
Well, and there's also slang. There's also different variations. There's also symbols.
Yeah, and then my cousin Tommy, who my uncle Mark. So my uncle Mark and my Aunt Cindy or Aunt Cheryl, they got German measles or German chicken pox when they were kids. That's what they got it in their ears, so they went deaf. Because of that. So his son Tommy is fluent. In that. But yeah, my dad went back and he took classes for like years, and he used to sign at the church.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah,
and,
it is definitely not easy. It is very hard.
I tried going back. Me and my friend Susie, we did it for about 6 months. Took classes at the college. it was so hard. It got to the point to where I, like every week you had to, like do a presentation in sign language.
Mhm.
I got really good at it. Like I could memorize or read my paper and sign, and the teacher would understand it, but I couldn't understand
what the teacher
like
was
the
saying.
signing. Like it was
Yeah.
just, it didn't click
Yeah.
that way. I was memorizing the motions.
Yeah, I
But-
could. That same kind of for me. It's like I could sign the signs, but I couldn't tell you when someone was signing to me what the hell that they were really saying. So that's like there was like a disconnect there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's very, very interesting. Like I knew
Playing
all the
them in sports
colors
is
and
interesting.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it was.
crazy.
That's where the huddle came from.
Really?
Yeah, you get in a huddle, give the signs, get
Yeah,
on out, and play football.
that's
They used to
actually
go.
pretty cool.
They used to go by a beat of a drum.
What do you
That's how
mean?
They used to snap the
because
ball.
they
They
could
used
feel the vibration.
Oh.
They had to feel the vibrations. So there
Yeah.
was they had a guy wheel a big ass drum, like 7 foot high. He had a big freaking thing, and he'd hit the drum, and they could feel the vibrations. And every once in a
Yeah,
while, they'd go
that
on
is so cool.
two drum beats. And
Yeah.
all defense would always jump off sides because after a while they lull you in. You'd hear the drum beat. You're going after the ball.
Yeah,
They'd get
that
you on
is
2 drum
crazy
beats.
though.
Yeah, it was. I tell you what, I played them all 4 years in school, and we had some pretty good games against them. But it was really amazing. One of the guys I play with, his cousin went to school there, but you had to have, I think, 10 or 15% hearing impairment to be able to go there.
Oh,
So
Okay.
like there were some guys that could
Have you
hear
ever
and talk shit. And
Yeah.
one guy, P.D. Davis on my team, going, "I thought those motherfuckers can't talk. I thought they're deaf."
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
said,
they can still talk.
"They can still
A
talk,
lot of
P.D.
them
It's 10 or
talk.
15% hearing impairment,
Yeah.
buddy. He's gonna
But
talk
even-
shit."
Yeah, but have you ever seen that lady who signs at like the rock or the like rap concerts or
Yeah.
the rock concerts and stuff? Oh my god, she gets into it. She's like, yeah, like I was like,
I
what
love the
fuck?
greatest story ever. I think it's going back 2 or 3 years now, and it was for I want to say a South American country, Brazil, Argentina, whatever. The president would always hold the press conferences, and they would have like the person doing the
interpreter.
sign language, and I can't remember if it was he or she did it for years. Come to find out, they didn't know sign language. He or she, they're making it up the whole time. Nobody called them out for years. Every press conference on TV, they had someone signing, and there was just gibberish. They had no idea what they were doing.
Why did they do that? Did they ever say why?
They
I
weren't
needed a
checking
job.
credentials.
Yeah, they
I needed
didn't.
a job, and
They didn't.
maybe
yeah.
they don't think people were paying attention. I don't know, but
I
that
don't-
is
Yeah.
fucking
How
crazy.
after the first press conference, somebody at home watching this on TV is like, "Hey, they're not saying."
What the hell is
How
that?
did they get away with
Yeah,
that?
I'll have to find that
That's
story. That was
Crazy.
That's
But that's the
crazy.
other thing too, is that they also say that people who are signing interpreters, like they're not everyone who does do sign language can understand, because there is different variations. That it's also sometimes like when they're doing like a certain sign, if it's done not completely like with the full like sharpness, like it can get misinterpreted. So it's just so mind-blowing how detailed.
yeah.
that is.
There's a lot of slang. We were talking to my aunt
Yeah.
Cheryl.
Oh, I
Just
believe
a
it.
ton of slang out there, and like I said, she if she meets somebody, she doesn't use it. She uses ASL.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah. But people who've probably been signing for a long time, and then a lot of people are good at reading lips.
Yeah.
And
But I love the stories you hear Shaquille O'Neal talking about Stevie Wonder. Will swear to you Stevie Wonder can hear. Or not Stevie Wonder. Who's the it is.
Stevie Wonder is blind.
Is blind.
He's
No,
not
okay, so
deaf.
we're gonna jump from deafness to blindness.
Okay.
Stevie Wonder's
Kevin is
Stevie
doing
Wonder's not
well.
blind, by the way. Shaquille O'Neal.
No, he
swears,
is. He is
swears
blind.
Stevie Wonder can see.
No, he is blind.
Yeah.
He is blind.
All of his other senses are just heightened.
Yeah.
I bet
they
your
say
aunt could
that
probably
does
tell you,
happen.
Kev. I remember years ago when the cochlear implants were really starting to come out and become
that was
popular.
a big no, yeah.
That was a huge problem on the campus of Gallaudet. Like they were called intimidating and bullying of students that were actually using the cochlear implant.
Yeah.
Like they caught a lot of shit for that.
Yeah,
because they were like, you're
Yeah.
fucking, we
Yeah.
are the hearing impaired community, and this is
Yeah.
who we are, and we use sign language, and what you're doing is a big fat no.
Yeah, there were she would say that a lot of parents that parents got bullied because they're because of the younger kids, and no, they're deaf. That's their they're belong to our community.
But if they
and
have a chance to be able to get some of their hearing back or help them, why is that a bad thing?
Within the deaf community. Yeah, it was bad in the deaf community. I don't know how it is now, but
it was
about to get hearing aids.
It was equivalent. It was equivalent to like how they call black people Uncle Tom.
Yeah,
it was equivalent to that in the deaf community of getting the cochlear implant.
Yeah,
and getting things like that. Most 100% definitely. The movie The Replacements with
Keanu Reeves,
their tight end who's deaf in the movie. He's not really deaf in real life. He's an actor because it's Roy from The Office.
Yeah.
When they because it was in Washington, and when they were talking, they go, "What's my tight end doing?" He goes, "He's sign language." And he goes, "What?" Gene Hackman goes, "Yeah, he's a All-American tight end right here in DC at Gallaudet." And they make that reference of him playing at Gallaudet, and he was their tight end.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I'll have to go back and watch that because I know Lou Ferrigno tells the story about how he was kind of ostracized when he got cochlear implants.
Now, how do they feel about it today?
That I don't know.
This was years ago, Jess.
So anything that threatens maybe financially too, because you got to think about how much funding and grants that they get, and then now you have something that's maybe going to alter.
No, it had nothing to do with that.
What it just happened? So if somebody then all of a sudden now can have some better hearing or helps them.
It was all seemed like you were.
I'm mind blown by that.
It was all about that. This is your community. This is who you are. Accept it, welcome it, and what you're doing is you're saying that you want to be better than us, and you want to move on. And it caused major issues.
So that's the most ridiculous thing, though. That is so ridiculous.
Yeah. They
that's shameful and ridiculous.
Yeah,
it really is. I'm sorry. That's
I gotta send it to you, Kev. But I think I still have pictures of the article. Gallaudet was featured in a Sports Illustrated article.
Oh, really?
And they came down to our field when they were playing us and took pictures for the article. And it was kind of funny. Like we tried to make a big deal about that we were in Sports Illustrated, but it was we just happened to be the opponent. And my one buddy's like, they were for our what do they call that? The at the football game, the
pep rally.
No, the book that they give you.
The program.
For the program, they all had different pictures, and one of the pictures was that we were in Sports Illustrated. And my one buddy's like, and no one else knows he's making an ass. He's pointing at his foot that's in the picture. And he's like this is my foot. But it was a whole big article on the school, how they developed, the football, the sports programs.
Oh, that's cool.
How they use the drum. And even when we prepared for them that week, we actually had someone out in the field with a drum, hitting a drum. And leading up to it, I thought they were fucking with us. Like I was a freshman. I'm like, what are they doing? They're like, we're playing Gallaudet this week. And they all kept going, hoo, hoo. I'm like, what are you doing? They're like, the fans, since they can't hear themselves speak, most of it, that's when they cheer. It comes off. It sounds like a bunch of people going, hoo,
like owls.
Yeah. I'm like,
they clap
man.
like that's when they clap.
Yeah,
like
yep.
Yeah.
I'm like, you got to be effing kidding me. Like, no, I'm serious. And then they came out the drum. I'm like, I really thought they were fucking around. And the head coach was like, well, we're playing Gallaudet this week, and it's a school for the hearing impaired, so we got to prepare the right way. So we practiced all week with someone hitting a drum, and the offense would go on the drum cadence.
Yeah, I never knew they had a football team. How
what's cool too?
They got basketball. They got everything down there. They had two guys that were pro prospects.
Really?
It's cool that they incorporate that, because I actually it's not that I didn't realize vibrations, obviously they can feel that.
Yeah.
But I wonder how it actually feels to them, because we can hear. So do we feel the vibrations and process it the same way? Probably not. But on the voice, I saw there was a woman who She went deaf. She did have hearing for a good portion of her life and then lost her hearing. But everything she does and how she could sing is all through. She stands barefoot and she could feel the vibrations, and that's how she knows how to sing and pitch. And when she plays her music, because she can't hear it herself or anything, she just waits for the vibration. So she knows when like her band is playing, when to join in and stuff. And I thought, that is fucking amazing.
And I know my Aunt Cheryl forever took vocal lessons to learn how to talk without hearing yourself. So you talk to her. Obviously, she's not having a conversation like we're having,
right?
But she can still. So you can still, for the most part, understand what she's saying. You know, it is strange because we all know how deaf people
talk.
They
have a little,
but she went through a lot of trying to train her vocal cords to speak and make sounds. And my Uncle Mark, he doesn't talk. Like he's your typical like what we would come across as a deaf person speaking,
right.
Just making sounds.
Right. Yeah.
And,
it's just so interesting.
And we saw those varying degrees on the football team too. Like some guys could not speak a word. They just made noises.
Yeah.
Other guys could speak a little bit and would talk shit. And it was just crazy. It was amazing to watch. But when you're in the middle of a football game, and the other thing they used to like to do too is always play around with not hearing the whistle. And a lot of late hits. A lot of late hits. And the referees would catch on to it midway through the game going, listen, that's a big ass drum, but you could also feel the vibrations of my whistle. And you see people letting up. Some guys would take full advantage of it. So we always had to prepare ourselves for late hits during the game.
Wow.
It reminds me, and it wasn't too long ago, a couple months ago, reading an article on my Google News feed about this. She's an Instagram influencer telling a story. She's deaf. And when she went to deaf school as a young kid, but then it was like late elementary school, middle school, whatever it was, went to normal school because they had like an interpreter. And said she remembers for the first time farting in class, and her interpreter had to tell her that wasn't appropriate because that's when she found out people could hear. She didn't know farts made noise.
Oh, wow.
And then she's she said instantly, just realized all the time, all the situations she was in, she farted, didn't know people could hear because farts made noise.
Wow.
Wow. And on that note.
On that
note. Oh my God. That's crazy. Oh my God.
That would be crazy, right? I mean, you talk about changing a habit. It's like, son of a bitch, I farted. I forgot about that. People can hear that stuff.
All right, on that.
Silent.
It wasn't silent, but
I'm Bully Kevin.
I'm Jess.
I'm Bully Kerr.
I'm Bully Jen.
And we sorry. Jess, you screwed me up, Jess.
I'm sorry. I don't understand why we say it. Okay,
I'm Broadleaf Bully Kevin.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Jess.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Kerr.
I'm Broadleaf Bully Jen.
And remember, bullies make good friends.
From Kev, Jess, Kerr, and Jen, we are the Broadleaf Bullies. Thank you for joining us, and remember, bullies make good friends.